Welcome to another edition of SKNIS Weekly Review, a weekly program that highlights some of the top stories of the work of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. I am your presenter, Carissa Franks-Benjamin. Coming up, Senior Minister Amory receives Australia's High Commissioner to St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts Nevis government upgrading customs and border protection measures, and Irish Town Primary School receives supplies towards its Club Phoenix program. High Commissioner Designate of Australia to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Bruce Lendon, paid a courtesy call on Senior Minister, the Honourable Vance Amory, on Monday, January 27, at which point he presented his credentials to the Honourable Minister. During the meeting, which was held at government headquarters, Senior Minister Amory officially welcomed the non-resident High Commissioner to the Twin Island Federation and pledged the support of the St. Kitts Nevis government in further strengthening the ties between the two nations. Throughout the discussions, Minister Amory thanked the government of Australia for assisting small island developing states like St. Kitts and Nevis grapple with several natural disaster issues heightened by the effects of climate change.
We appreciate in the Caribbean the support which we've had from, say, your country in dealing with matters of climate change and other matters which affect small island development states, with hurricanes, tsunami, and I note that one of your country supports the awareness in terms of how do we deal with preparation and response to earthquakes and tsunamis.
St. Kitts and Nevis has also seen Australia's cooperation in areas such as rural development, diplomatic training, and through their direct aid program DAP of assistance to NGOs and community-based groups. Border security in St. Kitts and Nevis will be strengthened in the coming months as the government continues to upgrade the St. Kitts Nevis Customs and Excise Department. Some of the security enhancements were shared by Senior Minister, the Honourable Vance Amory, on Sunday, January 26, during an address to mark International Customs Day. International Customs Day is observed annually on January 26 and is designed to highlight the contribution of customs towards a sustainable future. The Senior Minister noted that the men and women at Customs and Excise use a variety of tools including canine dogs and X-ray scanning machines during border protection duties. A scanning device at the seaport has been very effective.
By mid-year 2020, there will be another scanner installed to manage the ever-increasing cargo at the airport. There's also another initiative to introduce passenger baggage scanners at the RLB International Baggage Hall to further improve our nation's security. This will allow passengers who are sent for secondary screening to be processed much faster.
The enforcement unit of the Customs and Excise Department continues to grow as the number of joint operations with other security agencies, including the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force and the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force, increase. Senior Minister Amory indicated that, quote, "This team unity government has seen it fit to build an enforcement building where the different units such as investigations, intelligence, risk management, marine unit, canine team, etc. can be housed. This building, I am informed, will be commissioned in the first quarter of 2020, end quote. St. Kitts Nevis Customs and Excise Department collected a record $191 million in revenue to help fund public infrastructure and services said Jervin Nisbet, Customs Senior 4 Courier Operations Manager, during his appearance on Working for You on January 29.
St. Kitts is experiencing a very large growth right now. The customs last year in 2018 we collected $185 million. In 2019 we collected approximately $191 million. Now that was a 3% growth between 2018 and 2019. Now a lot of that money, like you mentioned earlier, goes into a lot of the infrastructure that we see around us, that the government is responsible for. Simple things that we take for granted, roads, healthcare, right? These are the things that this money goes into.
Elmar Martinez, Assistant Comptroller of Customs for Investigations, expounded further on the revenue collection process.
Customs Department is successful and efficient in regard to the collection of the country's revenue, based on those figures mentioned by Officer Nisbet. And this ties back in with the theme in terms of customs fostering sustainability for the people, because the revenue generated will be recycled into the development of the country. I use the word recycle because development of the country creates opportunities for new businesses to come on stream, which will result in the collection of more revenue by the Customs Department.
He added that a major factor that contributes to customs' successful and effective revenue collection is the enforcement of the institution's laws at the borders where importers bring their goods. He commended the officers for ensuring that the correct duties and taxes are collected. The Fire and Rescue Services in St. Kitts received much-needed equipment to increase the efficiency of its operations through the Japan Grant Aid for Economic and Social Development spearheaded by the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA). At a brief handing over ceremony held on January 27 at the Bastille Fire Station, 4 portable fire pumps and 15 fire protective suits were presented to Chief Fire Officer Everett Ogaro. The Chief Fire Officer thanked NEMA for its part in facilitating the grant that made it possible for the institution to receive this timely equipment. He explained that the bunker gears received are very vital in everyday operation and are considered to be one of the first line of protection for officers. He further noted that they can be protected from injury and chemical spills. The fire chief was very impressed with the portable water pumps that they received and said that they can be as effective as the fire appliances once a water source is present. He said that after an initial inspection of the equipment received, they knew right away that they were of the highest standard. Ambassador Jonel Powell has donated some supplies to the Irish Town Primary School in efforts to bolster its Club Phoenix program. Guidance Counselor of the Irish Town Primary School, Deslin Bell Watson, said that the program is designed to help students cultivate and develop elementary skills. They engage in cooking, sewing, gardening, washing, and ironing. She went on to say that the program arose because it was observed by the staff at the primary school that the students were lacking these fundamental skills. Ambassador Powell said he found out about the program during a visit to the school where the students learned to iron and wash under the Club Phoenix program, headed by Natasha Elliott.
I just want to compliment Ms. Elliott and all the others at the school who are doing it. That's a very good program. Not every school has that program going on. This is something that y'all started on, and I think very commendable. And I personally would like to see it continue for as long as it can, because I think these are good things that all of us need to learn.
Club Phoenix program is only offered to grade 3 students. And that's it for this week's edition of SKNIS Week in Review. See you next week.